welcome to our second episode of Sigma U, where we're going to be digitizing your life. Talking about digital calendars, and how we can actually implement them into your school life.
Digital.
Oh.
Matthew.
Yes.
You're a digital planner.
I am a digital planner.
Tell us how you plan.
So usually how I plan, one of the things that I actually learned from digital planning is that I'm a very fast-paced guy. I have to be always on top of everything. I have so many things that I have in my mind that trying to get a physical calendar is just sometimes not available or accessible. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like to use Gmail or Google Calendar, or this new app that I just found out called Todoist. Mm-hmm. Now with Todoist, you can actually write down what you need to do during that day or any other day, and actually it gives you like a type of a checkbox type thing. Because of that fast pace and that accessibility, I like to use those 3 different types of formats and everything like that. So that's why I like using digital calendars. Now I do use of physical calendars, but that's more of a longer time scale that I'm thinking like 1 to 2 months type thing.
So you're a hybrid.
You're
like me.
I would say that I'm mostly like 85% digital, 15% physical.
Okay. Says the man with like 10 pages written down.
I mean, this is me, because I was actually, so in my physical calendar, I actually...
First of all, is this your calendar, or is this like a free-for-all notebook?
This is like a free-for-all notebook, I would have to say. But it does try to keep some type of organization into it, because I do like putting dates onto it, and also the key points of what we're actually going to be talking about it. Okay. Which, this is a lot more detailed than on my digital calendars, because with digital calendars, I like to just put like the main ideas of what it has to encompass on. And then I will actually, when I have the time, take those quick notes and actually write them down in full detail, what I actually get to do. Another thing that I actually do that is a digital format for the calendar is that I actually like to record myself, like actually doing a voice recording, because there's a lot of detailing that you actually do miss sometimes, even when you're just writing out or just doing your little notes or everything like that. So I do like to incorporate those voice notes into the Todoist or into Google Calendar, so I can actually revert back to like, okay, this is what I was actually thinking during the time. That's what
So it's almost like it's almost like a brain dump.
It is a brain dump.
Where you can just kind of get it out there really fast, and then later on sit down and kind of analyze it again and go into more detail.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I like that.
Because sometimes, of course, especially in school, like a lot of times when we're actually taking our notes and everything, we don't have that time to actually write down in full detail of what the professor is talking about, or trying to get that main idea down. So in order to find that quickest way possible to get that information from the source to us, that's how we can increase our productivity and increase our actually learning capabilities. So that's why I love doing voice recordings. I love doing video recordings, of course, but that's how I like to increase my productivity, because then I'm actually retaining all that type of information and source like that.
I like that.
Yes.
I do. I even see like some of my classmates, they do that too, where like they'll have their like iPad. So I use OneNote. I'm a big Microsoft person in that sense. I just find it to be the most user-friendly. And so what I like in OneNote is that you can record the audio, and then as you write, when you play back the audio, it'll show you what you were writing at that time.
Yes,
I really like that. Yeah,
because it gets that correlation of getting that actual visual.
Sometimes like your professor will say something and you'll write down a random word, and you'll be reviewing your notes and you're like, why did I write this? Like, what was I thinking when I wrote this? And when you hear back the lecture, it kind of triggers the memory. You're like, oh yeah, I meant, this is what I was thinking when I wrote, I don't know, some random word.
It's like when you write down hats, you're like, what does that mean?
Right, like especially like an acronym. You're like, why did I write this down? What does this mean? And now you can hear it back in real time, and it makes sense.
Yes.
So I kind of like that aspect, that now technology is going into this hybrid mode where you have these iPads or Surface Pros, whatever, and you're able to write on it, and it simulates paper, but you have this small compact device that you can take anywhere and access on the cloud, and you can study or reference your planner or whatever it is wherever you are.
Absolutely. So also like is that sense of transferring. So it's like if you're taking all your notes onto your iPad in the class, now you don't want to bring your iPad everywhere, because it's kind of big.
It is. It's kind of clunky.
It is
Mine's a little heavy too. I'm not gonna lie.
So it is a little heavy, but it's not something you want to be carrying every time you want.
Because I have this. I have a Surface Pro, so mine's a little bit bigger than yours.
I mean, this is great capabilities of taking notes and taking everything like that.
This is like a full-fledged laptop.
This is a full-fledged. I gotta say, it's great.
Yeah.
Doing everything, but it's not something I want to be carrying around
it's not
all the time.
And it's also like $1,000.
So that's
you don't take that to the beach.
No, absolutely not. I would say, but of course, what's the one thing that we always have with us every single time? It's our phone. So of course, with our phone, it still has that capability of that connectivity to our larger devices, such as our iPad and our laptops.
Yeah.
That can be transferred into our phones, and we can actually still be able to view all those notes, take all those digital, calendars and those planning type of activities. Living in the digital life, we get all that type of distractions. So how can we minimize that distraction to increase our productivity? Some of the greatest things that we can actually do is that on our phones, we have multiple apps that can actually take that step back, close our daily notifications, and actually just get the requirements that we want, such as our phones and texts. Because based off of data research from one of the companies, of course, information right here.
That's a good point.
It was from Ask Wonder. Unit states the average person with a smartphone receives approximately 45.9 push notifications per day.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot.
And I'm just like, that's insane. You don't even realize how many types of distractions that we get and how much of that time is actually being used during that time for Instagram, Facebook, and not actually being much more productive as the digital aspect. That's the only con that I actually realized while using my digital calendars. But how I've been able to counteract that is that there's actually some different types of apps, such as like the Freedom app or the 1 Second app, that every time they actually pick up your phone, it actually tells you, like, do you really want to be on your phone? Take a deep breath, think about it.
Oh, that's really nice.
And then it like gives you a second to think about, do I really want to be on my phone?
Do I really want to be here? Yeah.
And then, of course, 90% of the time, I actually do put my phone down and actually get back to work. Yeah. Another solution I would say is actually do the out of sight, out of mind. But of course, now you can hear it. That's the part. That's the thing. Even though it's not in your sight, you can still hear it, and then you'll be still wanting to go see it. And
it's like an addiction. You crave it.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I need to get my phone. I need to see what's going on in the world.
You gotta see what's
Kim Kardashian doing right now? Is the baby born?
So, of course, one of the greatest things that I can say, at least trying to get that more of a digital calendar, digital productivity type of sense, is trying to at least slowly without your phone for like an hour for the day. See how you can handle that. Set that time block. Say, this is a time that I specifically need to get done during that day. No distractions, no nothing, because if not, of course, there's going to be consequences for it. So visually seeing that on your digital planner or calendar, which one you're doing, you can actually have that sense of like, okay, this is what I need to have, that sense of responsibility to do it. I
also like, even adding to that, I also like that you can collaborate with other people and share your digital calendar to find a time that, that's best for you guys to meet up, or
That's another thing that I also like about with the collaboration. It also holds you accountable for, like, if one person needs like this slides or presentations done before a certain time, because you are collaborating with another person on a digital aspect, you need to be able to get that done on that specific time. So that's why I like that type of accountability on the digital space.
So that's another thing I really like about digital calendars. Like even Google Calendar, now that you're sharing, you can kind of find a time block where both of you guys have nothing going on, or maybe you can meet at this certain location that's closer to both of you, and then that way you're able to get a lot of work done and be more productive.
Absolutely.
Right.
Something like that.
I think that's a big thing. Like, a lot of us will look at our day and we'll say, oh man, we only have 24 hours in the day and we have all this stuff to get done. How are we going to do it? But if you're able to maximize your time and really take advantage of things, then you're able to fit a lot in.
But how would you tell people to maximize your time? Because that's a very
it's a really broad start. And like I said earlier, like how we talk about repetition and how important it is to practice things over and over again in the beginning, when you're trying to set goals for yourself and kind of figure things out and maybe become a better planner to increase your productivity, it seems so unattainable. You're gonna struggle in the beginning. I did. I'm still struggling, and look how many years I've been planning. But I will say that I've gotten significantly better as time goes on. But there's not a perfect. There's no perfect scenario.
I mean, your productivity is only as good as your system.
Right.
And however, because you ultimately fall back to your system and how effective you are. If you have a good system set in place, productivity will be a breeze.
Right.
It'll be an easy type of way.
Right. And it's important that, after a certain amount of time, you kind of analyze your system and see where your faults are. Where can I improve, or what can I change to make things work for me?
It's always good to go back like every 2-3 months on your system. It's like, where do you need to improve? Right. Analyze it. Take a step back and say, okay, this is where I'm actually feel like I'm not doing enough. This is where I feel like I feel like I'm spending too much time on social media.
Right.
How can I decrease that? How can I actually increase much more of my time management skills and everything like that? And that's one of the good things about with the digital calendars and everything, that it actually gives you like how long you've been on a particular topic and
app or something, right?
Particular app and everything like that.
And you can find your problem source.
You can find your problem source.
Yeah, it gives you that analytic approach where you can kind of see things.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for meeting us, where we actually did talk about how we can create better learning styles in schools while creating a planner for it. So, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.